Welcome back to Breakfast Television. Parents of special needs children sometimes focus more on their challenges rather than their achievements. But my guest today, Dr. Sazini Nzula, says that you need to be parenting in a positive way. So I'm really excited for you to be here this morning. Not only are you an author, you are also an autism consultant and a therapist. A lot on your plate there. And there's your book, Beautiful Inside and Out.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, Dr. Sazini, we're going to start from the beginning. So, of course, your child is diagnosed with autism. The first thing you think about is, oh, my goodness, why me? You're saying get over it and accept the diagnosis. How do you do that?
It's very difficult, and you need to go through those first few days or whatever you need. That's
of mourning.
Of mourning. You
Yes.
need to go through your grief. You need to go through it. But it's also important to get past that and start living your life.
And why is that? Why can't you just be in the moment and say, you know what, this is so challenging. This is not what I expected. What is that going to do to you for some people?
For some people, if you stay in that space for too long, you lose time living your life with your child. You lose time living your life because you cannot just be depressed and in grief and if you find yourself in that situation, then you need to seek professional help.
Well, because you do see that sometimes, right? You speak to a lot of parents. You're also a public speaker. You speak to a lot of parents who go through these challenges. And so you're seeing that sometimes that diagnosis is like, no, not my child. And then they go for that second and third opinion. And then they realize, oh my goodness, the first doctor was right. And so then you wasted all this time is what you're saying.
Yes. And you know, in the book I talk a lot about, I have advice from other parents, from other professionals, of how you can go through that process to help you. And it shows you the step-by-step how to go through and get to the other side and start living your real life.
You have two children,
I have
7 and
two
11 years
children.
old. Both are artistic.
Yes.
How did you find your joy, your calmness, your confidence that everything would be okay?
Do you know, it was when I really figured out what I wanted for my kids. First of all, I had to find out what my vision was. And then from that, I then found professionals who could help me and support me in my vision. And then we could move forward. The other thing was really realizing that, you know what, yes, it's difficult here in Montreal. We have kids waiting on waiting lists for 2 years, but we have it better than people living in small town Canada.
And not only that, you talk to people at home. You recently had a trip to Africa where you realized the resources that we have here, even though it is slow for some parents to be diagnosed and to see the doctor, compared to some countries you visited in Africa, no resources there.
They have no resources. I finally was able to fulfill my dream and take my kids to Southern Africa to see Zimbabwe, where I was born, and we traveled through different countries, and they have nothing. They have no resources at all. It's very difficult for parents over there. And it actually made me realize that, you know what, we have a lot here that we can work with. It's not enough, but it's a lot.
Okay, and so knowing that, and obviously that's encouraging to other parents who are saying, you know what, there's worse circumstances out there. And so how does your book specifically help people with that diagnosis overcome? Because you're all about positive parenting. So where do you find that? And how does that book help you step by step through that?
The book shows parents how they can get from where they are, from where they're struggling. And it shows them that, you know, it normalizes it. Other people go through it. And from that, this is what you can do. This is where you can get help. This is where you can get support. And for parents who are really still having a difficult time or who need somebody to talk to, I offer a free, calm autism parenting coaching call for anybody. They can go to my website, drsazini.com, and click on the Contact Us link, and we can chat about it. And I offer it for free to anybody who needs.
Speaking of your classes, so I was asking you when we were talking on the phone this week, and we were talking about men in general, or dads, when it comes to their children being diagnosed. It was a little bit difficult for your husband to get that diagnosis for your children. What do you see is the difference with men, that they're dealing with it in a completely different way? How is that?
I think for my husband, is like most men. It's difficult for them to go and speak to other people, to reach out and say, you know, I'm having a hard time with this. I think women, we just, even if we
blur
meet
it out,
we
talk to
blurt it
anybody
out.
about our problems.
Exactly. Even if we meet in the washrooms, we can start talking about it. But for men, it's a little bit harder for them. But you know, there are other dads who are clearly going through what you're going through, and whatever works for you, find a way to get past that.
Well, thank you so much. I mean, you give great tips here. Once again, your book is called Beautiful Inside and Out, What You Need to Know About Autism, drsezini.com. You could get more information about her seminars, and you're doing really something wonderful there for the autism community. So thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you
Really
so much for
appreciate it.
having me.
Stay tuned to Breakfast Television. Coming up, more with PK Subban on The Daily Show.